Well, amidst our falling off from the title race, because Arsenal is like 14 points ahead of us, Man City is like 9-10 points ahead of us, our season is still so much promising. And if at all we happen to win the trophies that we are still in, we might find ourselves having close to 3 trophies in our locker, with the Carabao Cup already into our locker. United knocked out Real Betis yesterday and obviously been drawn against Sevilla in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Europa League. And tomorrow and on Sunday, we are in another quarterfinal of the FA Cup. If we knock out Fulham, we would have proceeded onto the semi-finals of the FA Cup, meaning that we will be still in mode 2 knockout competitions, and we will have made a statement that United is really untouchable under Erik ten Hag. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time we do upload a video onto this channel. Now, I'm here to bring you the match preview between United and Fulham, a game that is going to be played at Old Trafford around 19:30 hours. That's when this game is going to be played. Now, the only big team that is left in this competition is Man City. And if we go through, and I think City is going to go through because City is playing Bristol City, I see them being one of those that are really going to make it hard for us. But Ten Hag showed us at Old Trafford that he has a blueprint to beat Man City in that game, because he came in through and stopped Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, Mahrez, and very many others. So as it stands, it's really important to see to it that United gets itself in a position of playing into a semi-final of the FA Cup. And by Sunday evening, after that game of Fulham will be done, we will be knowing who United is going to play into the semi-final. So let's get into this. Now, today Erik ten Hag conducted a press conference, but he told us that Anthony is out of this fixture. Even Anton Martial is out of this fixture, meaning that they are adding themselves to Eriksson and Donny van de Beek. Those 4 players are out, but Eriksson is back and is expected to play in our game, or to be in the match squad, as United will be preparing to play against Newcastle away at St. James's Park. Is it St. James's Park? What's the stadium of Newcastle called? St. James something, right? I think that's where we are going to be playing at. Now, Casemiro is out of this fixture. He's serving his first match suspension out of the 4 after getting a red card against Southampton, But I think, nevertheless, we move on and we should go on and really exercise our duties and strength of being one of the biggest teams in the world to really stop Fulham. When you look at Fulham, in the game of Arsenal, they never had Paulina. He's returning, one of the best stadiums in the Premier League, and he's really going to have a very good day because Casemiro is away. But I believe either Fred, Sabitzer, or Scott McTominay will look forward to really stopping him to that midfield. Then Willian is also back. He's another player that they missed out, and I think those are the players that they really missed out. Paulinho was out because of a ban. He was serving a 2-match ban after accumulating very many cards for the second time. Then Willian had a pain, I think, in his back, and he's officially back to go on and really play. Cedric Soares is also going to play. Remember, Cedric Soares couldn't play against Arsenal because Arsenal loaned him to Fulham, so he couldn't face them. And when you look at United, we are welcoming back Sabitzer, who played some good minutes in Real Betis. I think played close to 30 minutes in Real Betis and really played very well. Who else are we welcoming back? I think that is the only player that was really injured and really came in back. Lindelof, Victor also came in and played some minutes. So Erik ten Hag is having some good squad without Casemiro, Anton Martial, Anthony Santos, Donny van de Beek, and Eriksson. Those are the 5 players out, but the rest of the players are really present to take part into this game. Now, Fulham last reached the quarterfinals of the FA Cup 20 years back. Those are 2 decades. So 2 decades, and they were knocked out by Tottenham Hotspur on the semi-final. And to me, I see it as a blessing that we are playing this game at home. It would have been so much hard for us to have played away at Rio Betis and then travel to London to play away again. I think this fixture is all in our hands and in our favor because we are playing at Old Trafford, and however much we won't be having enough energy, we'll find ourselves in a situation of really stopping Fulham and knocking them out, because this is a foot race. We've not lost. Even last weekend against Southampton, we never saw ourselves lose to Southampton. However much we played close to 53 minutes when we are a man down. So what is it going to happen if at all we are having 11 players on the field of play and we are having some good players that are really in form that can really come out and destroy a team like Fulham? So Fulham is in a very good form, though last weekend they lost to Arsenal 3-0, but I think the absentia of Paulinho and Willian really affected their performances. But they are coming to Old Trafford no matter what. They are coming to Old Trafford, and I think we will be giving them the best they deserve, and we are going to beat them. Now, Erik ten Hag made some changes in the team that played against Rio Betis from the team that played against Southampton. Varane was benched for Harry Maguire. Malacia came in for Luke Shaw. Fred came in for Sancho. Pellistri came in for Anthony. I think those are the 4 changes that he made from the team that started against Southampton at Old Trafford. And I expect him to make some good changes as we are going to play a team known as Fulham at Old Trafford, because he wants this trophy. That's why he sort of is that he benched Rafael Varane, and who is going to come in for Casemiro, Scott McTominay, all Fred to play alongside Sabitzer. We don't know, but me and my team at Unity Matters Channel have gone ahead to come up with a team of people that have really gone ahead to do the needful and really play a role of really coming up with the predicted starting 11 of Manchester United versus Fulham. It's going to be happening at Old Trafford, and it's going to be a fully packed stadium. I expect more fans to really throng to the pitch after the Qataris visiting the club, and obviously, who else visited the club? This guy, Sheikh Jassim Al Thani. His delegation also visited the club of Manchester United and Carrington. So I think the fans are really fired up. They are now knowing that the Glazers are really willing to sell the club. Now, let's get into our starting 11, predicted or probable, as I think we are going to stand on the day. Smash the like button close to 200 times, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. And your comments are welcome in the comment section below. The system that Erik ten Hag always uses is a 4-2-3-1. We go to the goalkeeping department. Do you expect him to make changes? I think there is a statement that he put out yesterday that you back, if you are a manager, you back on David De Gea, meaning that he trusts David De Gea and he sees him as that player that's going to come in through and really do the needfuls at Manchester United. So David De Gea is going to be in goal for Manchester United. I don't see any changes coming in through, because this is a quarter-final. We win it, we go to the semi-final of the FA Cup. And that is something that you will always want to see if you are a United fan, and it's always nice to have David De Gea. Yesterday, 2 worldies, and he stopped and he closed down players close to 2 times in that game to stop them from really scoring against us, and meaning the players of Rio Betis. In the game of Southampton, he pulled out 2 worldies again. So every game we've been playing, he has been one of those goalkeepers that has gone ahead to pull out worldies that have saved us from really conceding. So I think in the game against Fulham, with Casemiro out, you need a player like David De Gea into your goal. Right back, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka has played some good minutes. In the game of Southampton, he played 90 minutes. In the game of Rio Betis, played close to 70-80 minutes. So I see him as one of those players that Erik ten Hag is going to rest a little bit and get in a player known as Dalot to play on the right side. So I expect Diego Dalot to come in and play on the right side of the right back position of Manchester United. That is the first change I expect the manager to make. Then the other change I expect the manager to make is of Luke Shaw. I expect Luke Shaw to come in for Tyrell Malacia in this fixture. Malacia had a very decent game. You never know, the manager might really stand in for him and say, all right, let me not really bench you and let me give you another game, as Luke Shaw is going to go to the international break and play. Let me give him some bit of rest. But I think in the game against Fulham, that is so much decisive. It's not a league game, it's a knockout game. You need to find Luke Shaw into the team. So I think he's going to be played as the left back for Manchester United. When we go to the right side of the central defense, I think Harry Maguire has no chance to start. He costed us a lot yesterday, but God was with us that we never conceded, but he costed us a lot of games, a lot of chances, and would have found ourselves really conceding goals. But David De Gea and Lisandro Martinez covered him very well. And every time you play with Harry Maguire, your wing backs or your full backs don't make those overlaps, because they know that you are having a vulnerable right back. Sorry, you're having a vulnerable player featuring onto the right side of the field. That is Harry Maguire. Now, I think Varane is returning. That's why he was rested. He has been played in every game almost ever since we played Barcelona, Newcastle, the final of the Carabao Cup. He was rested in the game of West Ham. Then he came back in the game of Liverpool. He played in the game of Southampton. He played in the game of Real Betis, and he was rested on Thursday. And the manager is managing him very well. And obviously, I think Lisandro Martinez is going to maintain his position into this game as a player playing on the left side of the central defense. Now, I'm having another thought onto that. If at all Malacia is to play part in tomorrow's game as a starter, I have a feeling that the manager will try to bench Lisandro Martinez and play Luke Shaw as a partner next to Rafael Varane on the left side of the central defense. Then Malacia is played as the left back. That's it. But all in all, we will wait and see what is going to happen down at Old Trafford on Sunday. Let's go to the double pivot. Having been away for so long, I think he's really going to start. He's starting on Sunday according. That is Marcel Sabitzer. I see him as a starter in this game of Manchester United, taking on a side called Fulham at Old Trafford. So I think he's going to play in that midfield double pivot alongside Fred or Casemiro. My mind is telling me not Casemiro, Fred or Scott McTominay. I think he's going to be this man. That's why he never featured anywhere in the game against Real Betis. That is Scott McTominay. I see him as a contender to start into that double pivot. And with Fred proving that he's a very good player off the bench, I think the manager might really think of really not starting him, because they're having Paulinho back, and that midfield is really going to be so much hard for us to go through it. And I think you need some steel in it. That is Scott McTominay and Sabitzer. Though when they played against Fulham and started together, Scott McTominay looked abysmal. He was taken off at halftime. Casemiro came in through and they really played very well. Sabitzer yesterday played a very good game. And when they played with Scott McTominay again against Leicester City, that game ended 3-0 in favor of Manchester United. Scott McTominay really looked good. So I believe that the manager is having a constant in that midfield as Sabitzer. Now we'll have to choose between Scott McTominay and Fred. But I see Scott McTominay starting because Fred has played very many games, and I think that's why in the game of Southampton, amidst us being a man behind, being one man less, he just brought him in towards the end of the game, because he knew what it meant to really play him like that. Now, that is the double pivot for me, and I think that should be the first double pivot to play. If Scott McTominay doesn't perform very well, then in the second half you can go in for Fred with Sabitzer in that midfield. Now, after that, we go in for a player called Bruno Fernandes. No player in the top leagues of Europe is going to hate to play the number of minutes that Bruno has really played. And I think yesterday it was one of those rare occasions that you see Bruno being substituted. That's it. He almost plays 90 minutes in every game, and the manager has really referred to him as an athlete. He works hard and his intensity is really out of this world, and he has gained what we call momentum under Erik ten Hag and is leading by example. That is Bruno Fernandes Borges. So As it stands, we expect Bruno to captain the team on Sunday as we play Fulham. Now, let's go to the right attacking side of the midfield. You call it the right wing or a right forward, name it. Anton is out. Facundo Pellistri played 90 minutes. Sancho came in through and played some 30 minutes in that game. So, as it stands, I have a feeling that it is Sancho starting on the right side of the attacking midfield. That's it, because it's at Old Trafford and you need a player to start like Sancho. But also Pellistri can come in through and start. To me, any of those who starts onto the right attacking side of the midfield, I'm okay with him. That's it. On the left attacking side, it's obviously Marcus Rashford. That's it. And we expect him to come in and really making wonders. A man that scored his 27th goal of the season. And the manager, Erik ten Hag, has backed him to score more goals. He was asked whether he can score 30. He said that he replied to the journalists with an answer that stated, I told you that Anton Martial or Rashford can score 20 goals each. So, Rashford has already surpassed 20 goals. He's at 27 and he's left with some good games to go. How many? 12 in the Premier League, 2 in the UEFA Europa League, and 1 in the FA Cup. Those are how many? 15 games. So, in 15 games, I think Rashford can score 13 goals. And he can see himself hit 30 goals this season. If at all he scores more than 32, he would have broken the record that Robin van Persie put up or set at Manchester United for being the highest season scorer of Manchester United ever since Cristiano Ronaldo left. Because I think there is a season Ronaldo saw himself score close to 42 goals. That season he was named the Ballon d'Or winner. He was really great and he teared the entire Champions League, Premier League and everything apart. That is Cristiano Ronaldo for you. And guess who is leading the line? I think it's going to be Wout Weghorst. Wout Weghorst is leading the line. And for me, I believe we are winning this game by some good. I think we are going to win it by either 3-1 or 2-0. That is it. 3-1 or 2-0. That's it. I know they're having Mitrovic. Yes, they're having Mitrovic. They're having a Willian, Andreas Pereira. Our two Obis are coming back to Old Trafford. Andreas Pereira and Daniel James are coming to Old Trafford. But I believe we have the weapons to close them down at Old Trafford, because at Old Trafford, Ten Hag has turned that stadium into a fortress. They aren't surviving. And they need to fall onto the sword of Manchester United. Now, let me give you a little bit of a snippet of the stats and how they've gone ahead to be in the favor of Manchester United, because these are things you might know before you head into this game, because they are really, really important and they're provided to us by Google. We are being told by Google that after losing their first 2 FA Cup ties against Fulham in 1905 and 1908, Man United have progressed from each of their last 8 against them. This is their first meeting in the competition since a 4-1 win in January 2013. So we last played them in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup in 2013. So Fulham are winless in their last 15 meetings with Manchester United in all competitions. They have 3 draws and 12 losses, while they've only won 1 of their last 25 away games against the Red Devils, 3-1 in October 2003. So it shows you that they are not good visitors at Old Trafford, and you cannot call them that bogey side that gives us hard time at Old Trafford. So looks like they are coming to the fortress and they are going to be destroyed. Then Man United have scored in each of their last 25 home games against Fulham in all competitions, netting 63 goals in total. The last Fulham keeper to keep a clean sheet against them at Old Trafford was Tony Macedo in 1963. So they last kept a clean sheet, how many years back? 63, close to 60 years back. That's when they last kept a clean sheet. So it shows you that we have to score against them tomorrow. No team has reached the semi-finals of the FA Cup more than Manchester United, 30 times. Level with Arsenal, however, the Red Devils have lost 5 of their last 8 quarter-final ties, most recently against Leicester City. I remember this, 2020-2021, Leicester City knocked us out. They hit us by 3 goals, I think, to 1 or 0. That's it. Now, lastly, Fulham have lost their last 3 FA quarter-final ties, with their first since 2009-2010. They last reached the semi-final of the competition in 2001-2002, beating West Bromwich Albion in the year's last 8. That is it. So I think the stats are really in our hands and they really favor us a lot. So I feel like we are knocking them out. What are your thoughts about it? I think we are knocking out Fulham on Sunday. So guys, that has been a match preview. I've told you everything about Fulham, the team news. Feel free to go in the comment section. Tell me your predicted starting 11, your prediction, and how would you want Erik ten Hag to approach this game. Third video of the day. We are left with one more video that is going to come like 3-4 hours from now. I'm going to upload it. That's what we're going to be about. It's going to be about the takeover of Manchester United. That's it. So Rokan David remains my name. Guys, I sign out for now. See you later. That is my predicted starting 11 that I think Erik ten Hag is going to go for as we take on a side known as Fulham. Your thoughts and more are welcome in the comment section below. Bye bye for now.